Cappy's with us? Good for us. Hi, Cappy.
What's up there, Docky? How you doing, kid?
I'm on my way as soon as this is over to Wrigley. What am I going to see tonight, big boy?
Well, first of all, come see me because I'm doing pre and post at the Brick House at Wrigley at Gallagher Way there.
Ooh, I may come see. Yeah, if I get there in time, I will be there.
Come up and say hi. And did you know that I once walked down the aisle at a wedding with Tom Izzo as my significant other next to me?
Is that right?
Yeah, Kevin O'Neill's
Let me guess.
wedding.
Oh, Kevin O'Neill's second wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I remember his first wedding was not going to go well.
There's been a third wedding since then, but that one's still hanging in there, so we're good.
How long's the third wedding of KO?
He's been married now for 13 years.
All right. All right.
Yep.
Kevin O'Neill is one of the great guys. It used to be, I don't know if he still is, to have a beer with in the history of the world. And I'm sure Izzo is, too, if he wasn't an uptight little batch. But, I mean.
Iz is my guy. I like him.
Yeah,
he's been good to me.
Good for you. No, I like Izzo. But when he acted like a grandfather that didn't know his ass from third base a couple years ago towards me, I'm like, come on, man, grow the hell up. But anyway, I digress.
I remember seeing that, and I laughed.
I did too, actually. Hey, Cappy, what am I going to see tonight?
Hopefully you're going to see a great Cubs victory.
All right, let me stop you right here. Let me ask you, let me go real quick, rapid-fire questions to you about tonight. All right?
Fire away.
Lester pitching well. Will he go as long as he can go, or will Joe have that frickin' quick hook he always has?
He's going to give him a lot more rope than he gave, Jose Quintana yesterday.
Okay. Is Bryant healthy? Can he help tonight?
Can he help? Yes. Is he healthy? I don't think he's anywhere close to 100%.
Damn it. Can anybody hit the ball hard other than Rizzo?
I'm going to tell you that I think tonight you will see better offense. Now, does that mean they're going to put up 10 runs? No, not necessarily. But I do think I expect Javi Baez to have a good game tonight. They're facing a guy who's really good in Kyle Freeland, but he's on 3 days rest. I expect the Cubs to score at least 5 tonight.
Really? Good for you. Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, is this Freeland any good? He's from Evansville, so we kind of like him. But we're bitter today. We're nasty today. We don't like him. Is he any good?
He's really good.
I know.
He's really, really good.
I know.
But so is John Lester.
Right. All right, question.
Mm-hmm.
No Addison Russell. How much does that – let's say the Cubs win tonight, okay? Let's just say they're going into the playoffs 5 and 7 game series, right? How big a deal is that?
That Addison Russell's not on the roster?
Yeah, that he hasn't been on the roster and won't be on the roster in the short series.
I think he's played his final game in a Cubs uniform.
Yeah.
I do. And if and only if they find out that the allegations against him are true, he should never, ever be in a Cubs uniform again. You just can't tolerate that.
Will he be in any uniform again? Osuna is.
I can't believe. Right. Osuna is. Jose Reyes got back in the uniform. Look, I'm not saying I advocate for someone to be banned for life, but I would not want him in my organization if those allegations by his ex-wife are true. I just think you got to stand for something, and I don't care how good a player someone might be. And I think it took the wind out of the Cubs' sails the first day at the White Sox a couple weeks ago. Beyond that, I think they're over it. I do. I think they've moved on, and they're ready to play.
Strop tonight. Yes or no?
Yes, he's available, 100%.
Will he pitch? Who's first righty, who's first lefty out of the pen?
Well, if you can get things to go the way you want them, and John Lester is locked in and he's pitching well, I think they're going to try and get 7 out of John Lester. And then I think they're going to try and turn the ball over to Cole Hamels. Now, if they've got to go to a righty, then I could see it being either Jesse Chavez or, in a closing case, Pedro Strop.
When you and Izzo walked down the aisle, who was the pitcher, who was the catcher?
I'm always the pitcher, kid.
That just came to me. I just thought I'd ask. What the hell?
That's why I love you.
Who's the pick to click?
The pick to click tonight, I'm going to say the pick to click tonight is Ben Zobrist.
Good pick. That was my pick tonight. Yes.
There you go.
Where will he be playing tonight?
I haven't seen the lineup yet. I'm headed to Wrigley as we speak. I believe that he will be in right field. If I'm guessing the lineup, again, I have no intel on this. I'm guessing the lineup. The lineup is going to be, let's see, Contreras catches, Rizzo's at first, Murphy's at second, Baez at short, Bodie at third, Bryant in left, Almora in center, Zobrist in right.
Because of the lefty, no Schwarber, obviously.
Correct.
Who's the first lefty out of the pen tonight?
First lefty out of the pen tonight, I'm going to say it's Cole Hamels.
Really? All hands on deck, got to be, right?
All hands on deck. Joe has already indicated that he would be, willing to use Hamels out of the bullpen. So that's what I'm going to say, that he is going to pitch out of the bullpen tonight. First guy, lefty out. The first righty will be Chavez.
All right, Cappy, you are uniquely qualified for this because you are there every freaking day. You are the king of Chicago sports. You have, what everybody else wants. You have greatness along with knowledge and experience, okay? And you have to have these to answer this question because my mother is 82 years old. My mother has been watching the Cubs since well before I was born, all right? My mother, literally yesterday, instead of going to the movies, sat and listened to WGN radio. You have met my mother, and it was one of my mother's life thrills to meet you at a Cubs game 100 years ago. All right? My mother told me today, Daniel, I don't like this Cubs team. They do not seem to like each other as much as they did a few years ago. Do you agree with that? Not that she doesn't like them, but her point was this doesn't seem like the same team, Daniel. Do you agree or disagree with that sentiment?
I disagree vehemently with her sentiment.
Oh, good.
I think this is a really good mix of guys, Addison Russell notwithstanding, and I do believe that they have very good chemistry. I think some of these guys' player development has not done a good enough job. And that's something Joe and Theo and Jed are going to have to look internally at. Why is player development stalled? Because I love the thing they put together. It's a talented team. Everyone's excited. However, name me the last position player that they developed.
They being the Cubs.
Yes.
You could make the argument that they developed Javi Baez as a hitter. Not necessarily because he came up, he struck out 40% of the time. Can you make the argument that Javi Baez has been developed?
I guess, but he was not drafted by them. That's a Jim Hendry draft pick.
Oh,
Give me one that they picked.
Can you make the argument that they drafted Schwarber? Although I told you and everybody else he's a 240 hitter, and that's what he is. But can you make the argument making him into a left fielder is development?
He's a 239 hitter, so
yeah.
You were right on the money. 239, 26, and 60-some RBIs, and a pedestrian left fielder.
Yes.
Maybe.
I'm with you on that.
Okay.
Bodie.
Contreras. Bodie, I'll give you. He's a 230 whatever hitter, very solid defensively, but not what you'd call a wildly impactful player.
Right.
Contreras, signed by Jim Hendry.
What's wrong with Contreras? I don't like him. He looks skinny to me. He looks. Cappy, I hate to say that to you because you see him every day, but he hasn't had his kind of year that maybe he was expected to have. Is that accurate?
100%.
Yeah.
I don't know where the power has gone.
Yeah.
I don't know where the oomph in his bat has gone. I said the other day, put the Nerf bat down and get a real bat, dude. What's going on? There's no exit velocity off his bat. I stand there at batting practice sometimes, and I'm like, wow, what is going on here? There's just that authority that was in his swing isn't there. Does that mean he's got to get in the weight room? Does that mean he's got to make mechanical changes? I don't know. All I know is This team has had 1 or 0 runs in a game 39 times. Only one team worse, the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, anytime you're on par with them, they were historically bad in everything, right?
They did it 40 times. So you're right there with the Orioles. It's brutal.
Cap, I don't know I think I know where you stand on this. I am of the ilk that I was a Cub fan long enough. Joe Maddon won a World Series, so he gets a 20-year contract. Is Joe Maddon on the hot seat if they lose tonight?
You know, it's funny that you say that because I was with a noted baseball expert the other day at Wrigley, and we're walking from the Pirates clubhouse to the Cubs. And I looked at him, I said, okay, be honest with me. Are you hearing Joe's in trouble? And he looked back at me, he said, if they lose in the wild card game, better than 50%, he's gone.
Better than 50%.
And I said, you got to be kidding me. 4 straight 90-plus win seasons, 3 trips to the NLCS and a World Series. He said, I'm just telling you, it's not going well between them and the front office. He said if they advance, he'll keep his gig. If he doesn't, all bets are off. So I said, okay, who gets the job then? He said one of 3 guys. The guys he gave me, again, this is not me. This is from a very, very, very well-respected baseball guy in the game. He said it would either be Girardi, David Ross, or Mark DeRosa.
Oh, no. I got to – no. Well, Cappy, you know this as well as anybody. We all say, oh, you can't fire Joe. Hey, who's the next coach? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
You know? Wow. What is okay, then let me take this a step farther. What's the problem between, Jeb and Theo and Joe?
I think that Theo and Jed look at Joe, and I think they appreciate everything he's done, but I do think they have some issues with Pedro Strop getting hurt running the bases, Brandon Morrow being used 3 consecutive days when they had said, we will never use him 3 consecutive days, and they believe that's when they could pinpoint that he hurt his arm, and now he's not back. So I think there are certain things, maybe the approach to the way he runs a game versus the way they would run a game with a more consistent lineup versus, Dan's going to bat first this game, ninth tomorrow. He's going to play 18 different positions in between. Nobody complained about that in 2016 when they won the World Series, but now that they're having some struggles, people are complaining.
Let me ask, where are you at with it? Because, again, you host the pregame, the postgame. I mean, where are you at with it?
When I look at Joe's record and I see what he's done that no one has ever been able to do here, it's hard for me to justify changing managers. That said, I do understand some of the frustrations about lack of a consistent lineup, lack of a defined leadoff hitter. But then again, what leadoff hitter is on the roster that he's refusing to play? Is there somebody Theo and Jed gave him, or did Theo and Jed drop the ball and not give him a consistent leadoff guy? So there's a number of ways you can look at it. The Pedro Strop thing, for me, was on Joe. You cannot let him hit in that situation, or if you do, you basically have to tell him, hey, dude, if you hit the ball, I need you to stand at home plate. I don't care. But he's trying to run out a ground ball, and boom, he pulls his hamstring, and that has really hamstrung your bullpen.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, can you make the argument that Jeb and Theo have not done a great job of filling the bullpen, even over the last couple of years?
I would say that they have tried to put a lot of pieces into the bullpen.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they're always the right pieces that they put in the bullpen. That's the problem. Because you look at their bullpen, and Steve Cishek was a really good signing. Did Joe Maddon overuse them? Maybe. Did Joe pull his starters too quick early in the season? Maybe. Pedro Strop's injured. Brandon Morrow's injured. Justin Wilson has been really up and down. So you've got a number of things that they feel like they put enough pieces in there and it hasn't worked for whatever reason because guys are out of gas. Is that on the manager? Maybe.
Thing that I would say, you go back a couple of years, they got a good bullpen. Jaime Garcia was pretty good for a little bit. With the Cardinals, was he not? And Kinsler was pretty good for a little. I mean, they just got him 4 years too late. The hell?
Yeah. I mean, Jesse Chavez has been an excellent pickup.
Yeah, he's been good.
Really good. But, I mean, is it legitimate to expect Jesse Chavez to continue to pitch like an ace when his track record says good pitcher, not elite, and he's been elite since he got here. So we'll find out. I hope the other shoe doesn't drop tonight.
I'm keeping you way too long. Last question, I'll let you go. Do you anticipate the Cubs winning?
I do. I think they're going to find a way at home with John Lester on the hill to pull this one out. I don't know how they'll set up then against Milwaukee, but you got to get there first. But I do think over 3,000 miles of travel for the Rockies in 48 hours, a pitcher on short rest who's never appeared in a postseason game before. I just think the Cubs find a way.
All right, I hope you're right. Where are you at? The brick house? The brick house, it's right outside Wrigley, and that new little park there they call Gallagher Way. Yeah, overlooks it. You'll see us. We'll be up on the patio. Come on up. I'll buy you dinner. I'm gonna say hello. Thanks, Cappy. You're the best, man.
Best. You too.
Appreciate you. That's our friend. It is. It's our friend, David. I love Cappy, man. Cappy's the best, and I love his. I just knew he was listening, so I gave him hell. Figured we'd have something to talk about. Hey, I just want to talk about one quick thing before we go to break. We talked on the air with Mike Chappell about, his daughter on October 27th. She's going to walk a couple miles through downtown Philly in the Light the Night Walk. And basically she's walking in honor of Chappie's other daughter, who he lost, Angela, who he lost to leukemia, Angela Rose. So McAfee has really stepped up with $500. I gave $100, but man, you all have been great. Let's help Chappie's daughter out. Jeff AA, you're fantastic. We appreciate you. Leslie, Stephen Lewis, Terry Freightner. Thank you all so much. All you got to do is go to my Twitter, and the link is right there. I just retweeted. Let's help Chappie's daughter out, man. We try to help people out when we can. We rip people, but we also try to help them out when we can. 317-239-1070 if you'd like to jump in and tell me who's going to win tonight, the Cubs or the Rockies. I never hated the Rockies until tonight. Now I hate the freaking Rockies. We'll be back.